Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. We just wanted to stop by and let you know that we have new face masks in the Tula shop. We know that everybody is heading back to work and back to school, and in most places they are now required to go anywhere. So we just wanted to help you out and give you something cool to wear.
Whether you believe in them or not, a lot of places are requiring them. Here's a Tula face mask for you.
We also wanted to let you know that if you are in the northern part of the country right now where it's already getting cold, we also have fancy schmancy beanies. Super comfortable, as well as long sleeve and hoodies.
So just check out the Tula shop, and everything bought in the Tula shop just helps us do this and make more videos for you guys. So thank you so much for supporting.
And thanks for watching. See you later.
Whew. So we're taking our old truck bed off here, and we're gonna put on a flatbed. I just bought a used flatbed from a local guy, and yeah, we're gonna make it super functional, more like utilitarian adventure camping rig instead of just like a regular pickup bed with a truck camper in it. So there's 8 bolts under here holding the bed on. I got 6 of them off. There's the second to last one I can do with the wrenches, and then the last one I'm gonna have to cut the head of the bolt off because yeah, there's no way it's coming off the wrenches. Alright, we got the regular pickup bed off. Hopefully someone from Craigslist picks this thing up, otherwise we gotta bring it to the junkyard. It's still usable, but in rough shape. I don't think it's worth like pursuing to fix it up or sell it or anything.
What makes it in rough shape?
Just all the rust. The truck's from New York. It's got a ton of rust on it. Frame's pretty solid though. I really inspected that a good amount before we even started this project. I mean, it's rusty for sure, but it's not like it's rusting through anywhere in the frame or really thinning out. So the regular bed's a little bit heavier than I thought it was going to be. So it didn't go as smooth as I thought, but it's fine. I'll just get this truck out here, I'll flip it back over.
Is it legal to drive on the road like this?
I think so, if I put my license plate on and my tail lights, which I will, and I think we'll be good. With no weight in the rear of the truck, the suspension is just so stiff. But we're in this guy's neighborhood, and I looked at the bed already, and the guy also has the same exact frame as this truck. So he actually got the flatbed on that frame, and he made sure the supports and everything were lined up on that frame, and the bolt holes and everything. So it should just be as simple as popping the flatbed right on this truck and just bolting it up, and that's it. Hopefully we don't have to make any major adjustments or anything like that. So almost there, and then on the way home we'll have a flatbed on here. There are a lot of steel flatbeds out there, especially used, but I just wanted to try to go as light as possible. I mean, with everything we're going to be hauling and towing, we're hovering right around the max of the weight capacity of this truck. I'm going to have to add rear leaf springs as well, 1 or 2 springs, just to help with that weight load. Or there's some options there. You can do airbags and blah blah blah. But anyway, instead of having steel flatbed that weighs more than the regular bed, I figured let's go aluminum, and it will probably weigh close to the same, if not lighter than the regular bed. And then we don't have to worry about rust or anything like that in the future. It won't corrode nearly as easily as steel would. And yeah, we'll have a nice light flatbed and be able to bring some more toys with us, or just keep ourselves inside the weight range.
didn't take more than a second for you to turn the whole world upside down. Turn this big boat back around.
There she is. Our new rig. We just stripped all the stickers, or Sierra did. Sierra stripped all the stickers on the outside, and we're actually going to paint this thing. But she's going to wash the camper really good and then probably sand it today or tomorrow and then wash it again. Then we're going to paint it. And while she's doing that, I'm going to talk about the rest of what we're doing with this rig and why we went with a flatbed. I may have said it before, but I think truck campers are so cool because they're really versatile. Hopefully we can take it off-road a little bit. I mean, obviously nothing crazy, but like get off on dirt roads, going a little bit further than where you could go with a trailerable RV or something like that. And I already had a truck for it. So we took the bed off, we put a flatbed on, and one of the main reasons is because a truck camper sitting in the bed of a pickup truck, it works well, but it looks, I don't like how it looks like it's just been plopped into the bed of a pickup. I wanted to make something that like just integrates into the vehicle a little bit more. So instead of having just this big box just sitting in your bed, I wanted to see if I could, like I just said, integrate it into the vehicle a little more. Another reason I'm doing this is because when you have a regular bed of a pickup, there's so much space in that body of that bed, like just empty space. In my mind, it's kind of wasted empty space. In addition to that, there's a lot of space when the truck camper is sitting in that bed. There's space in here that is kind of inaccessible. That's some more empty space that could be usable that you just can't access when it's sitting in the bed of a pickup truck. So I've seen some other people on the internet do big truck campers on a flatbed as well, and they do it pretty good. And the way they do it is just how I have it here, except they have some toolboxes, just like your normal flatbed or truck bed toolboxes, all in here, multiple, or I haven't seen one with all one long one, but some multiple toolboxes, and it integrates pretty well. And it's super functional, exactly what I'm going for. Now, it doesn't integrate as good as I have it in my head, what I want to do. Oh, and also, like, if you want just one big, long toolbox, like I saw on Amazon, they're like $800 for like an 8-foot-long toolbox, like one on each side. That's a lot of money. And they're still boxes. You still got to make them fit. They won't, like, all combine into one thing. So what I want to do is build an aluminum skeleton out of 1.5-inch aluminum square tubing underneath here. And then I want to use like an aluminum sheet to kind of make a big hatch on both sides. So one big hatch here like that, and it'll be slightly angled. I'll show you. So as you can see, the flatbed sits a little bit tucked under this truck camper. And so what I want to do is make this aluminum hatch at a slight angle, nice and smooth, right up to the edge of the truck camper. And then that way it's just like one piece of aluminum. I might have to do multiple, but basically one long piece of aluminum. And when you open it up, you unlock it, you open it up, you fold the whole thing down, and now you have this whole area in here for storage, and then a whole nother big table or countertop or whatever you want to call it for barbecuing or doing work or whatever. And that's kind of what I'm going for. So that's what I'm going to start building. And I haven't welded since high school. I don't have any welding equipment, so I don't really want to depend on a welder to put it together, although I could cut up all the metal exactly how I want it and then just bring it to a welder and then have him weld it all up. But instead of doing that and depending on someone else and be at the mercy of their welding schedule and their prices and stuff like that, I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to do it, I think, mainly with rivets. So aluminum rivets. We use them a lot on the sailboat, so we'll try it here and we'll see how it comes out. I think it's going to come out pretty good. What you doing up there?
Can you pass me the hose?
So basically I cut up this square tubing 1.5 by 1.5, and I put them in these little slots that were in the flatbed already. They're slightly loose. Worst case scenario, after I get this whole structure put together, if it's pretty jingly, I'll just put some like plastic shims in there to tighten it up. And basically I'm just drilling through this piece of 1/4-inch flat aluminum and then riveting through. I'm only doing one rivet for now in each, but I'll probably go back later and do another one in the bottom. But I'll probably mount the hinges right at this point also, so the hinges I'll use the bolt or rivet or whatever I'm using the hinges. I'll probably do that for the bottom piece on some of these. So basically, yeah, this is the first step. It's going really well. we grab our rivet gun or rivet. So we have the first big part of what I'm building done, kind of. And it looks super cool. It seems really functional. It's gonna be up like that. I gotta trim it a little bit here so that it kind of almost tucks under the lip of the camper and is a 1/2 inch space, but this is basically it. And it folds down. We'll have some lines, 2 or 3 lines to hold it like that. And we have this big work area and all this storage in here. I'm just trying to figure out now the rest of it. Think I might mount something to the actual camper. I'm not sure. On the way. But look how cool it looks. So this is going to be all painted up with the camper. All going to be matching and everything. I think it's going to look so good.
Because we don't do anything the normal way. Truck campers can be boring. We had to make it useful. And in case you're wondering, yes, I did finish cleaning and sanding the entire camper. So I'm just waiting for Billy to be done with his project, because then we're going to have to sand that whole thing and then we'll paint the entire rig together at once. So I think we're going to actually use truck bed liner. It's a very durable, textured kind of a paint, and I think we're going to use the brand Raptor because that's what we've seen everybody doing and they have really good reviews about it. So we think we're going to do that. Plans could change, but as of now, that's what we're doing.
Decided I'm definitely just going to mount this, I don't know what you call it, this little lip here that this whole hatch will kind of butt into, and I'll have something like this coming off the lip and through the hatch, and that'll be like our padlock thing, maybe something a little beefier than that. But anyway, we're just going to attach it directly to the camper and it'll just live on the camper. And yeah, basically just drilled out all the pilot holes for it. We're going to use some lag bolts because I can't access the inside of there, so the best we can do is lag bolts. And just 5200 I know is probably way overkill for this, but it'll help structurally hold it, but also seal it up, especially where we're gonna put the lag bolts through. Probably not like the perfect thing to do, but I think it'll work really well still. Got a storm coming. I'll try when I mount this thing for the padlock, and like I said, we'll have a slit in the hatch. So when the hatch closes, it'll go right over this. This will stick out the other side. But I'll try to make sure that I make that slit big enough so that if the camper does flex a little bit more than this structure here, there's a little bit of wiggle room in there. It won't like try to force anything too much. There will be some room to allow it to flex a little bit differently than the bed and the whole structure attached to the bed. Plus, this whole structure attached to the bed is kind of flexible anyway, so I think we'll be all right. Coming out really good so far. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. It's about to rain here, but let me give you guys a little update of what's going on with our storage hatch system thing that I'm creating on our flatbed with our camper. It's coming along nicely. It's almost done, I'd say. So we have obviously our big long hatch that you guys saw already. It's just being held shut by this right now. This is just kind of a, I don't know, just experimenting with seeing how we're gonna latch it shut. I think we're just gonna do some much smaller eyes bolted through this aluminum piece that's connected to the camper, and then we'll just padlock it shut probably in 2 or 3 spots here. And then there's gonna be a piece of like thick weather stripping here right behind this, so that it's like kind of a firm but like flexible seal, if that makes sense. So all we have to do left here is basically, I think I'm gonna cut it off here instead of making a floor. I think I'll just cut it off here and then put some sort of support so things can't fall out the back. I'll probably cut this piece off, and then we're gonna cut out a triangle piece of aluminum and mount that right here, so that's all enclosed from this direction. Try to mount it to this. I'll try to like make a little tab on the side of it and then rivet it to this piece so that it's just kind of, it's mounted like that. I don't know if that makes sense. And then when I fold this down, that comes down with it. And we have this little piece on, This is going to be like our board storage area, surfboards and kiteboards. See how many we can fit in there. I'm going to mount another strip of aluminum here, like a permanent mount. That's another door there. We mounted our front piece there. I think it looks pretty good. Riveted onto some supports back here. And then on the top here, we're going to put a piece of aluminum down the whole thing. And I'm going to try to do a bend right here and bend it over, and then it'll come like right down to here. So not quite touching, because again, I just want that little bit of space everywhere, but close. And then once everything is painted, I don't think you'll notice like the breaks in the material too much, because like we'll paint the inside of this and we'll paint this whole thing as well. So like even this line, it's not perfectly straight, but once everything is painted, I think it'll blend in really nice. So this is our roof rack I'm building. I'm just using these rail fittings instead of welding them. Here's the other side all nice and opened up. So again, it's not perfect. It could be a little bit neater, especially if I could weld or if I brought it to a welder. It's a little bit different from how I envisioned it. I envisioned like a whole frame system inside of here, and it was going to be like its own toolbox if we took the camper off. And I might do that in the future, but for now, we're gonna just count on the camper living on this truck for the next year. We're not really gonna take it off. And I can if I want to. It'll just be a few extra steps, maybe a couple bolts here and there, and that's it. We could take it off if we need to. I think it's gonna look really good when it's all painted up and done, and like look at it from back here. It's getting there. If I really need more storage, we just don't want to. It's only a 2,500 truck, so we don't want to add too much weight. But if we really want to, we could mount a toolbox under the flatbed, front of the wheels, or after the wheels. But I don't know. We're just gonna try not to have that much stuff to need those extra toolboxes. Ugh.
This is how I've been doing everything pretty much, especially cutting the sheet metal, just making well, at least for these smaller pieces, just making a template out of cardboard and then tracing it on. And then I don't have a table saw, obviously, or a shear or anything like that. So I've just been clamping the sheet metal under a piece of square pipe and just clamping it down to this piece of plywood really good. And then just using a metal blade on a circular saw and using the square tubing as a rail, a fence. And it's been working pretty good. So here's one of those small pieces in the back that I just finished. And it's perfect. Quick little update. We got all our little eyes on that we're gonna put the locks on. So here's that first hatch. We got our strings on that hold the hatches up. And then we'll put a lock right there, bam. Have some weather stripping in here. And we're good. Look how good it looks. You're sanding all the aluminum right now while I'm doing these finishing touches, just getting it ready for paint. Beautiful.
Slowly but surely.
Put some shade up because we're in Florida and it has been so hot in the sun. It's like incredibly hot. Clouds are just starting to roll through now, so we'll get some afternoon thunderstorms, but coming along. What are you doing? Are you helping out? Good girl. What's today?
Painting day, the best day of any project.
Well, I think the best day of any project is when we take the tape off.
No.
Which we didn't even put on yet.
Painting's the best because you go from this to, well, whatever you're gonna see.
We are all set up. I rented a compressor from Home Depot and we got all our paint. We're using bed liner paint.
Raptor bed liner. We wanted to order it on Amazon, but we're, of course, as always, kind of in a time crunch, so we found it at O'Reilly's, like right down the street, but you can't get it on Amazon.
And we went to Sherwin-Williams to get the tint for that paint. This is tintable bed liner paint. Sherwin-Williams got a tint that is going to be a pretty close match to like this silver on the bottom of my truck there. We're going to go over the bottom of my truck there. We're going to paint the edge of this bed because you can see that, and then the whole camper, and then the panels that I made for right here. So basically everything.
How did you tell them what color?
We looked up the code, but it would have been double the price for him to make a premium custom mix to match that code. So we just went with one of their generic colors that they have that's really close. And it doesn't matter because we don't have to match it exactly. I just want it to be kind of close. We're going over it anyway, so.
If we have enough paint, I think that's last priority.
Yeah.
We ordered 2 gallons, which is 8 liters, and that's what they say to do for like a normal like big truck.
No, I saw one truck bed
For
is 4 liters.
Really? I saw it.
Maybe a full-size pickup truck.
That's what I said.
8
Full
liters.
size pickup truck.
So hopefully.
But this, I would say, is a little bigger than a pickup truck.
I don't know.
But we're not doing the roof, the ceiling, so hopefully that saves us. We'll see.
We don't have a bed to do. We just have this one little strip, so.
Hopefully it all evens out, and 8 liters is plenty to do 2 coats. We want to do 2 coats. And now Billy's gonna tape.
Yep. And then we're gonna paint.
Okay, it is hot, but we have 2 coats of acid etch primer on everything that was bare aluminum. We have everything taped, and Billy is getting the paint gun all ready to go.
I screwed in the air fitting to the gun, not that fitting, this fitting. Screwed it into the gun. I guess I screwed it in too tight because I cracked the casing of the gun.
You what? Already? Seriously?
But it's fine, it's just a super slow leak.
Is that gonna mess with our
No,
pressure?
because as long as the pressure, like, if that stayed on continuously and we still weren't up to pressure on the air, then it would be a problem. But it's you can barely notice it now. I just taped it up, so we'll be fine. Just gotta maintain the pressure, proper pressure. It says between 40 and 60, and the lower the PSI, the more textured and thicker the coat is, and the higher the PSI, the smoother and less textured it is. So we'll start right in the middle at 50 and see how it goes, and I think that's probably where we want it, somewhere in between smooth and super textured. So it's a 2-part polyurethane paint, so basically they make it super easy. You just fill up the hardener to this 8-ounce mark on this cup, and then you pour it into the bottle, and then in our case we're going to tint it with like 3 or 4 ounces of tint, and then you just shake up the bottle, you screw it onto the gun, and that's it, and then you just spray it, and then you just do that over and over. We have 8 bottles, so hopefully that's enough to do 2 coats.
This is the box that it came in. Tintable. Raptor can be applied to almost all substrates. Concrete, wood, metal, plaster. Everything we needed, the 2 1-gallon kits, the spray gun, the primer at O'Reilly Auto Parts cost $478, and then you had to pay for the tint. How much was that?
Like $100.
$100, and then the spray system from Home Depot, the rental, was, you said, $70?
Yeah, it was 75, but now thinking about it, I'm pretty sure there's a deposit on that. So I think it's only like 25 bucks or something.
We spent $75, but we'll get most of that back. That's kind of expensive, but if we were to take this into a shop and get it professionally painted, I'm sure it would cost way more than that, right?
Yeah.
We'll see, and we wanted to add another skill to our list of skills. One bottle, which is 1 liter, did 1 coat underneath this whole thing. So we have 7 bottles left. Okay, we have gone through 6 bottles already. We've got 1 coat on everything. We've got 2 coats on the very, very top of the camper, like where the old Sportsman big name was. And we have 2 bottles left to do a final coat on the entire thing. Will we have enough? We didn't make it. We need to go get more. The issue is that nobody around here sells it, so they have to like ship it in and it takes a couple days. So we really wanted to leave on Friday. Today is Tuesday and I don't know if it's gonna happen. This was just bare aluminum, so we wanted it all to match with the black of everything else. So we sanded it and cleaned it and taped it and painted it. The issue is that this is really hard to stick to, the truck bed liner. So
For the tape to stick to.
So I really hope our tape job was good enough. So. How's it look up there?
Good. I'm so happy with how all this paint job came out on the camper.
Don't touch it.
I don't know if I told you guys, but when we did that Raptor spray, I definitely put the nozzle on wrong the first time. And that's why it sounded so funny when I was spraying. I was like, oh, this must be why they call it Raptor spray, because it sounded like a raptor dinosaur.
Because it sounded like a dinosaur.
But it was definitely because I put the nozzle on wrong. I put it on too loose and then I like backed the nut up to it to tighten it up, and I thought that's why that nut was there, but I think it was meant for the nozzle to screw all the way on, and then the nut, I don't know, just to be on the very end. But anyway, it still came out really good. It just went on a little bit thicker and more textured than it normally would have. And then when I went back and got more paint that came with the new nozzle, I used that new nozzle and everything went on like super smooth, much thinner coat, and it sounded normal coming out of the gun. But it all came out really good, I think. I mean, I really like the gray color. I really like the black trim. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. I like it. The strip at the top bothers me, but it's some weird material that we don't know if we can paint without it peeling up, so we're just gonna leave it for now.
And then Sierra ordered this this rubber stripping that goes in the channel here, and she ordered it in black, so we don't have to paint that. We'll just put on new black rubber stripping, and then there's a cover that goes right there. I can't wait to get it on the truck and put everything together and see how it really comes out.
So before, we had our screw cover in like a red, and it was covered in mildew and kind of like breaking apart. So I went online and I found the exact same thing in black. So it goes a little bit better with our color scheme.